Alright, back. So you see we have a carrot for every occasion. These carrots are extraordinary, but if I don't like carrots, I can certainly see demand for this in Charlian. And why do you seem so disappointed? If they're lacking somehow, we need to know. I take it you two had a wide assortment of carrots to choose from and not else? If I may ask, what exactly did these collaborators share with you about cuisine on the Theris? Surely you are aware we have an abundance of dishes and foods you could emulate. Of course we are, but well, it was only quite recently that we established contact. Even holding conversation was a struggle at first, so imagine our surprise when they set them out in books and documents with no clear instructions. The sheer amount of information was overwhelming. If it wasn't for that encyclopedia I found, we would have been at a loss where to begin. So we decided, rather than divide our resources per variety of middling and potentially unsatisfying meals, it would be more efficient to devote our efforts to the production of a single perfect food. It's all well and good, but man cannot live on raw carrots alone. Have you considered cooking them? You mean steaming, boiling, roasting, and like? I suppose we could. Prepare the carrots in other ways. Our primary concern was efficiency, and what's more efficient than sinking our teeth into a carrot fresh from production. Rather strange approach to take for one named Cooking Way, isn't it? Well, technically speaking, Cooking Way isn't my given name. When first created, we were all named in the old tongue, you know, the otherwise impenetrable parlance the Watcher speaks. After we received a great tome of words, dictionary, that is, from our collaborators, we learned your language, adverbs, gerunds, present continuous verb conjugations, just the basics. Then we found the terms related to our given tasks and used them to form new names. Weren't they helpful? No, not really, but it does explain a great deal. Wherefore didst thy kind deem such a change necessary? When the rest of your people arrive, we want to be certain they understand immediately what each of us does, in order to be able to pronounce our original names Anyway. I see. I hope our critiques, such as they are, were helpful to you. But if you should decide to preserve flora and fauna from a theorist as well, you should be able to offer the passengers a more balanced diet. I'll bet their collaborators were the Forum, maybe? Charlian? Explain things there. If you should decide to preserve flora and fauna from the theorists, well, you would be able to offer the passengers a more balanced diet. Till such a day, when I pray comes sooner than later, it would appear there is not to put carrots on the menu. Hungry for more carrots? Fear not, you can eat to your heart's content after you've seen the rest of Best Way's burrow. While I'm sure the Loporits would hop at the chance to expound upon carrots in exhaustive detail, perhaps time we moved on. Hate to admit it, but I did rather like the carrots. Wonders. I think we've had our fill of carrots for now. Let's move on to other necessities, shall we? Clothing production is sure to impress this way. Oops, get up there. Oh, sorry. Let's see if I can make it. It's hardly sun-soaked tapestries, but perhaps we'll be pleasantly surprised. Do you suppose the clothes they prepared will be as grossly oversized as the carrots? Garments born in the heavens, crafted methods ancient, forgotten, dressed befitting we who walk in shade, stewards of the esoteric. Here we are at the apparel production station. I've chosen to employ more traditional methods for this task, creation magics. Heidelin, in her infinite wisdom, blessed us with the self-same affinity for magic her people possessed. You have other amazing talents, of course, and I know you're dying to hear about them, but I will regale you with the details another time. That said, we did run into a spot of trouble at first. Our magic alone is not sufficient to see our work done. In the end, we discovered crystallized ether was a wonderful catalyst that could provide us with the extra vis we needed. My, how resourceful. On sweet sound recognition, you'll also be impressed to hear we've heard all about your habit of changing attire to match your chosen profession. For the sake of efficiency, I presume, this has also been taken into account with our designs. But why take my word for it when you can simply try on our clothes? Make yourselves known to the workers and they will see to the rest. If you're worried about sizing, don't be. It should be a simple matter to adjust our concepts as required, and it will be required. Restless Lopper. Whoa. Ah, it's you, one of the visitors from Theris. Goodness me. Mapping Way wasn't kidding. You really are smaller than the Watcher. Alright, you're here trying a set of clothes, yes? What would you have me fashion for you today? Something simple yet functional. Simple and functional, right. And this will only take a moment. There we are, all finished. Perfect fit, if I do say so myself. Nothing too billowy or frilly, as you can see, also light and durable. Sure to serve you well wherever your travels might take you. You look at that. Speechless, and here I thought you may not like it. I thought you might not like it. If you have a mind, try something else when I speak with my fellow artisans. I'm sure they'd be happy to oblige. You must continue wearing these garments in order to progress. You'll change back to your normal garments if you move too far away. Look to your map for the garment changes area of effect. Speak with the Restless Opera to restore or prolong a garment change. This is such a weird change of pace considering everything that has been happening. Ah, no one said you'd be coming, or how can I help you? Just to try my clothes, really? Of course, it would be my honor. Do you have anything in mind? Anything with a little more flair? I'm looking for clothes with an altogether different design. Anything with a little more flair? Yeah, I think I can handle it. Let's see. This should do. Some of my best work yet. Times, tastes truly have changed. It used to be so rare for anyone to request clothing with a focus on form over function. Thankfully, I had a spare concept for robes made using a different fabric. I think it looks rather fetching. I was worried about how the concept would turn out when put to the proof, but it looks stunning on you. When you're going sheltering away, I'm sure she's eager to see what we've come up with. Let's continue right. Dressed for the occasion. My, don't we look splendid? Result much trial and error, but I know quality work when I see it. Shh, you needn't speak. I can see your adoration for the moon, and we eat lop-hearts in your eyes. No doubt your friends feel the same, having sampled our creations. Sorry I kept you waiting. He insists we sample all of their concepts ere we returned. Verily, 'tis an ensemble most becoming. I think it's past time we return these clothes. I look like my shoulder's really dropping. I'm so confident our garments would meet with your approval. Sigh, whatever are we doing wrong? Watcher taught us that, and this time everyone wore the same robes. To do otherwise was against social etiquette. Why the fuck does my shoulder look really fucking small? Oh, cause shirt, I think. Looks like it's like way tiny. Watcher taught us that this time, at his time, everyone wore the same robes. To do otherwise was against social etiquette. We thought we could appeal to modern taste by tailoring robes to specific professions, but please, you must be so hard on yourself. Should we resort to evacuating people of Theris? They will most certainly have need of your attire. It's clear you spared no effort in addressing our needs, but you must understand that we are not quite so homogeneous. Speaking for myself, what I wear now better suits my taste, even if it is of inferior make. There are others whose choices may be influenced by traditions or personal experience. Rather than make assumptions for the whole, you must consider the individual and their potential preferences. I fear we've underestimated the complexity and diversity of our people. Even if we'd memorized every tone we received, I doubt we'd have fared much better. Maybe you're doing a disservice trying to shower you with our baubles and frippery. I think it's for your benefit when you're better off on your own. There's some who might agree. People will prefer to keep others at arm's length even when they know they shouldn't. As one such former fool, I'd like to ask you a question. This plan to evacuate and escape the final days, does it account for the reflections of the source as well? Not that I'm aware of. We were born of Heidelin's love for Aetheris, and the salvation of the people in that star and that star alone has ever been our aim. Surely it's better to devote ourselves to saving one world than to divide our efforts across 14 and risk failing them all. I suppose you're right. Living way, might we have leave to explore Bestway's burrow unattended? You've given us much to think about. Why, certainly. Till later, then. If I may, I should like to accompany thee a while longer. Really? I mean, you're more than welcome to. There's actually something I wish to speak with you about. Let's be off then, shall we? My apologies, I wasn't trying to spy or anything. I was been talking about the visitors come from Aetheris, and I wanted to see what all the fuss was about. I was excited first, but now I'm worried. What if the people of Aetheris refuse to come? What if we can't save them? It's clear we made a mess of things. Oh, but wait, you still haven't visited the domiciles. Once you see them, you'll understand how wonderful the moon truly is, I'm sure of it. I'll be waiting for you by the teleporter near the entrance. Oh, and the name's growing away, by the way. See you soon. Excuse me. Probably playing for another 40 minutes or so. You're here, you're really here. Thank you so much. Or sorry, what should I call you? Arrow is fine. OVA, crikey, even your names are amazing. Well, Arrow will be using his teleporter to enter the residential area. Whenever you're ready. Oh, is this where housing is going to be?
Ready in the teleporter.
I was not expecting a guy. I thought that was going to be a girl.
Huh? Access to living quarters restricted due to reconstruction. Then where is it? Oh no!
A private audience, as thou didst request, for reasons I know not.
Just a precaution. I'd rather I didn't have to ask the question at all, but I take my responsibilities very, very seriously. Do you and your friends, by any chance, find our accommodation wanting? Be honest, brutally even.
'Twould be ungracious of me to belittle the efforts of thee and thine.
Lovely sentiment, really. But the disappointment is writ plain on your comrades' faces. It's all the more frustrating since no one will come out and say what they find wanting. If there are faults in our work, we need to know. We will do better. But time is not on our side. The final days will wait for no one. If your people are to be saved, we must take quick and decisive action. This vessel must serve as a home for as many passengers as possible, for far longer than we may like. Which brings me to my request. Our collaborators on Atheris are doing what they can to prepare for the voyage. Would you be willing to go and lend them a hand? Having seen the moon for yourself, you could speak to its many splendors, learn what else they might require, and assuage whatever concerns they have.
Wherefore wouldst thou entrust me with such a task?
How to put it? You're the only one who appears not to be wholly unsatisfied with our work. Or quite good at pretending that's the case, at least. Calm, collected, tactful to a fault. Very particular with your words, too. You understand that, in the face of great danger, one cannot pursue perfection at the expense of practicality. The difficult choices must often be made for the greater good.
And so fate doth conspire to set my feet upon this path once more.
Come again?
Ah, idle musings. 'Tis no trifle thou dost ask, yet full well do I understand the urgency and necessity.
Oh, dear me! Dear me! I was terribly sorry for the mix-up. It's a bit of a malfunction. I hadn't realized the residential quarters were inaccessible, you see. But you're still in one piece. So, all's well that ends well, yes? Won't happen again. I promise.
Their collaborators have to be the Forum. And maybe they were just... Maybe just Charlene was planning on leaving. Gosh, that was embarrassing. I promise to be more careful from now on. Since the residential quarters are closed for now, I've rerouted teleporter to allow travel between floors instead. Hopefully it proves useful in the meantime. Shame you couldn't see it though. You really would have liked it. Now travel between the upper and lower flows of Dustface Burrow via the teleporter. Cool. All's veil that ends veil. May not seem like it, but we've been planning for this far longer than I'd care to admit. Each time we woke up, we'd have long discussions about how to save as many of you as we can. I felt like everyone had an opinion on this or that. The one thing we all agreed upon was that the people of Aetheris wouldn't take action to save themselves until it was far too late. That's why we were striving to make the moon a vibrant, magical place they'd hop at chance to visit rather than waiting for the flames of oblivion to get them off their tails, force them to accept our invitation. Residential quarters may not be up to the necessary standards just yet, but there are plenty of other places worth seeing. You've already had a look around the curatorium, but wait until you see what's waiting for you at the east end of the burrow. Follow me. That looks like upper floor? No. Lower. Oh, fuck it. We'll go over there and discover this. Oof. Good you're here. Through this door is Greatest Ends Veil. It's named as such because the veil to end all veils is the most beautiful forest you'll ever see. I understand the people of Aetheris enjoy taking leisurely walks through natural spaces and lakes, so I'm sure you'll enjoy it. How about we start with a nice stroll at the fountain, this way. I don't know if I can move my mouse cursor out of sight on that last one. Sorry about that. Starting to drift a little bit. This area looks cool. So what do you think of the forest? Isn't it positively pleasant? Simply sublime? You can see the forest or the trees. I didn't see any. Wait, you don't mean those crystals out there are? Tis as transcendent as bearing your face chuckle with plumage and taking a good long whiff. Couldn't see the forest or the trees. I'll go with this one. Pulling my tail, you're in the forest right now. Building this place was a challenge, let me tell you. Since we were born here, we've never seen trees in person before, let alone a forest. The information sent by our collaborators was quite enlightening, but after much deliberation, we decided to use crystalline constructs in place of living trees. Thanks to our atmospheric circulation system, this place produces air as clean as that you'd find in a forest in Etheris. The fountain here behind us, powered by a rather large crystal adorning its top, plays a vital role in supplying us with fresh water. Much time and effort was spent making the most spherical of spheres, and I dare say the unparalleled mountain speaks for itself. I enjoyed nothing more than a nice long stretch and spot of relaxation when I come up here. You look like you could do a stretch yourself. Stretch. That's the spirit. Feel more relaxed simply watching you. Sight worth the many years spent building this place. It's not too much to ask. It's always been a dream of mine to take a walk through this forest with someone from Etheris. Could we maybe... Sure. You will? Oh, be still, my quivering whiskers. Growing way is now accompanying you. Keep him at your side in order to pursue your quest objectives. Say, Arrow, that could be more help to you by teaching you a little about the moon, what it is we do. When we were first created, the moon's sole purpose was to hold Zodiark, and there was absolutely nothing to be found here. Eventually, Heidelin gave us our first task: furnish the moon with propulsion systems capable of facilitating travel to other stars. Sounds impressive, and I suppose in some respects it is, but it was only possible thanks to all the knowledge Heidelin shared with us. We also had a lot of time to get it done. 6,000 years, give or take. Damn. But anyway, let's keep going. I'm tired here. Nothing like a relaxing shoulder to forget one's worries, eh? What? No, I'm not sure what it is you do with crystals and spheres, but we don't eat them. Certainly not this one. It's possessed of all 6 elements: wind, lightning, fire, earth, ice, and water. Use crystals like these to maintain the moon's elemental equilibrium. It's worth mentioning, though, that because of Heidelin's influence, being the embodiment of tranquility and stasis and all, manipulating the elements here is different than it might be on Etheris. Conjuring a fire would sooner dry your clothes than singe them, for example. Put simply, the etheric conditions are ill-suited to growth, which is why the surface is mostly barren. Of course, this is all necessary to keep the raging energy of Zodiark in check. This may come as a surprise, but we didn't begin building habitable areas until after the propulsion systems were ready. Considering how long it took, I wish we'd started sooner. Who would have thought we'd need 4,000 years to make all this? Certainly wasn't work you dare rush either. We had to create infrastructure and countless supporting systems, some of which wouldn't be operational until hundreds of years later. That word just looks weird all of a sudden. Operational. And then there was that brief period where our productivity came to a screeching halt. And that bizarre red satellite was sent up from Etheris, the Allegan's mischief, I think. Thought maybe some new nefarious actor was colluding with Zodiark. All we could do was stand by and brace ourselves for the worst. Can't tell you how relieved we were when Heidelin informed us of his destruction. Oh yes, there's much joyous humming that day. Nothing like relax to... Okay, and that one. Say, do you notice anything peculiar about the treetops? I mean, apart from the fact they're massive crystals, not trees. It's the golden rings emanating from the glowing spheres. On a device fixed near the ceiling, they fulfill a role similar to our sun and do so better even. Suns similar to celestial objects, the great expanse radiate energy that is harmful to your bodies. These rings shield you from that energy while allowing you to bathe in the perfect amount of sunlight, or rather a close approximation of it. Pretty impressive, wouldn't you say? Oh, if you look closely, you'll see different types of trees have ever so slightly different curvature. Yes, indeed, this forest truly is the greatest. Man, I feel so bad. Just because they've tried their best and there are some things that aren't quite exactly what they should be based on their information. There's something else I wanted to tell you about. Oh right. Propulsion systems and habitat facilities were completed around 2,000 years ago, and with that, the most important features were fit for purpose. Which is all well and good, except we still knew absolutely nothing about the present-day people of Aetheris. Why not go and visit Aetheris yourself, you might ask? Strictly forbidden. Where technology or knowledge of the moon's true purpose is exploited for evil ends, the results could be disastrous. And there are a few more rejoinings, and it became increasingly difficult to converse with Heidelin. Fearful we might lose the ability to communicate with her altogether, we beseech her to find people on Earth we could trust to help. We were quite fortunate everything worked out as it did. Oh, excuse me. Whoops. With the exception of routine inspections and maintenance, we remained asleep and waited. Hopeful Heidelin would find someone who would help us. Hopeful Heidelin would find someone who would help us. Eventually she did, and though her power was waning, we were able to speak to them directly for a short while. We shared with them everything we could, including our knowledge of the heavens and it means travel here to the moon. They certainly didn't waste any time with what we taught them, no more than a few years after that. Our collaborators found a means to convey messages and supplies to us from down below. All the letters, books, and other resources they sent, we learned enough to start making more meaningful changes to the moon. And now you're here, hopefully enjoying yourself as much as I am. I knew you would like Greatest Endsvale, I knew it. Thank you again for coming here, by the way. I know it's just a walk through the forest, but it meant a lot to me. There you are. Take it you've already received the grand tour. Shame we missed it. Growing way, I've been looking all over for you. Oh, is this about the teleporter to the residential area? No, never mind that. We have more pressing matters at hand. I will be calling an emergency meeting shortly and your attendance is required. Really? I can't imagine why you need... I can't imagine why you need me there, but if you insist. We won't be away long, so you all are more than welcome to continue looking about the burrow. Now come along, Growing Way. Before we arrived, you seemed to be in the midst of a rousing conversation with your guide. Did you learn anything of import? They spent 12,000 years preparing for this? As you pointed out, we're fast approaching. I can certainly understand their restlessness, but still. It remains to be seen if the people can be persuaded to evacuate when there are yet no signs of the final days. What's more, the technology of this place defies imagination. I doubt there are many who would readily come to terms with living in such surroundings. Whoever these collaborators are, unless they're obsessed with the world's most charming personalities or a means to forcibly evacuate people, they will meet with a great deal of resistance. Indeed, even if faced with annihilation, the decision to forsake all one knows cannot be made lightly. To forsake all one knows cannot be made lightly. Forgive me, friends, but I must beg your leave. There is another matter which yet begs for mine attention. Of course, we can accompany you if you like. Nay, that will not be necessary, if you'll excuse me. Huh, when you supposed to suddenly tickle this fancy. It's clear now that difficult decisions lie ahead of us. Preparation for the evacuation of Thera is indeed crucial, but I am not yet willing to forsake our world and its reflections. I trust I am not alone in my reticence. Final days will make brave fools of us all. Go dash. Some more greens. Back to old tricks. By now, I think we can tell when his friends are up to something. Did Urianger seem strange to you? More so than usual, I mean? No, he has a penchant for keeping his own counsel, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't worried. Would you go and see if he's alright? Stoll and I will remain here and see what else we can learn about the final days. If you're hurt, perhaps you can catch up to him. Urianger usually puts more effort into concealing his clandestine endeavors, or perhaps he's simply given up on trying to hide it. Knowing we'll find out eventually. In any case, that he acts with good intentions is plain. It's plain. I'm getting tired, you can tell. So please give him the benefit of the doubt. Better for only one of us to go in case it's a delicate matter. Hopefully I'm overthinking things. Actually, let me go this way. There we go. Just reveal that whole spot. Oh, I can just screw it. I can just take this. Camping way. Thinking of spending a night outside Bestway's burrow, but I'm not sure what I'll need to take with me aside from a tent, I suppose. Urianger appears to be heading towards the entrance to Bestway's burrow. I don't know what mount that is. Looks cool though. As if I dropped in Lamentorum for reasons unknown, you must tread carefully, else he might sense your presence. Escort mission. Almost saw me. Not quite though. Okay. Well, that place is interesting.
Thine arrival is timely as ever. Thou didst chance to overhear my conversation with Living Way, I presume? 'Twas not mine intent to move in shadow. Nevertheless, I have been asked to do that and more yet again. Is it so plain that these strangers could intuit it at a glance? My capacity for silence and secrecy and duplicity? When Grahatir did contrive to deliver the first at the price of his own life, I was complicit in the scheme. A sacrifice averted for a mercy. Would that I could say the same for Menphilia. One life for one world. And by that bloody bargain brokered by my hand were the scions robbed of a dear comrade, and Flamine her beloved daughter. Two souls, whose selflessness was beyond measure, whose resolve was unshakable. They would not be moved even had I thought to protest. But protest I did not. Far from it. I pushed them forward. No effort did I make to seek out alternatives, ones that would not demand such terrible costs. That resignation weigheth heavy on my mind, as does the memory of another lost to mine inaction. Dearest Moonbringer, who did face death unflinching, that we might secure a means to bring low the Ascians. In her hour of need, I did naught. Dutiful disciple of Louisoix, ever looking to the greater good. that I shut mine eyes and bid her live instead, mayhap she would be with us today. Selfish wants born of everlasting regrets. Most days I put them from my mind, but could think of naught else when asked to swallow the same bitter draught. Subterfuge and sacrifice. Mayhap the right moral choice, but one I regard with great trepidation. The calamity of Amarot was a tragedy beyond reckoning, one which must never again come to pass. Thus must we struggle, haunted by ghosts of those we have lost, clinging to those we pray we can yet save. But what of those we cannot? How do we make peace with the dreadful algebra of necessity? Sage counsel indeed. I see. Wisdom as befits a great worm. Curious that he should think thee in need of such encouragement. Strange. Scarcely can I remember when last we spoke alone, and so candidly. I thank thee. For all my supposed skill with words, I find it difficult to express such private thoughts. As for the Loporrit's proposition, I will take time and consider how to respond. 'Twould be to our mutual benefit if we could converse more openly with our aspiring caretakers. A concern I should be glad to address on the Scion's behalf. To dispense with all pretense and bare one's heart to another is a frightening thing indeed. But we cannot move forward ere we take that bold first step. A lesson I have learned many times before. And today.
What are they saying? Curse these ears! I've heard bugger all! No matter. We've got our plans.
In truth, my reason for traveling hither was to effect a plan of my own. Planners may pave a way forward for us all. May I say, for there is no guarantee of success. That's the reason I set out alone. That failure, should it come, would be mine to bear alone. Yet thou standest before me with proffered hand and open heart. It would be remiss of me to refuse thy amity, and so I ask, wouldst thou join in mine endeavor? Sure. Thank thee for accompanying me. It's a simple plan, truth. We shall not go long away from Bestway's burrow. A bold decision must need to be made in the coming days, but I nevertheless believe we are all of one mind in our desire to save the people of Thirst. To make clear our resolve to the Loporits, I would offer them a gift, but its making doth require a most singular ingredient. Oh. That looks weird. An abundance of sponge away. Excellent. A chance to spy this aggregation crossing Zodiac's erstwhile prison. Using spells taught to me by the new Mao, I believe these shall suffice for the gift I would fashion. Magic requires considerable concentration, however. I to prevail upon thee to stand watch while I perform the incantation? Sure. Ranji is wholly absorbed in reading his enchantment until his work is complete, he'll need to be kept safe from harm. He's got everything under control there, I suppose. Oh. They're not gonna show up. I have to stand over here. During nearby area, you see no sign potential threats. This would be a good opportunity to see how Ajay is faring. Ajay remains fixated on his work. There, 'tis done. Magic ink. Every on's as efficacious as that crafted by the new Mao. Rare is the occasion I would conjure mine own, but is nevertheless a most useful skill. The resulting product is admittedly possessed of no preternatural properties, but its hue is one of mine own choosing, which I pray the Loporits will appreciate. Arrow, Riage. Oh, thank goodness that you had been eaten or had perhaps fallen into a crater. Yshtul has been looking all over for you, Arrow. She says she needs to speak with you about something most urgent, dire even. She was also quite clear that she wished to speak with Arrow alone, which means I'm afraid you must stay behind, Riage. But worry not, it just so happens we need your help with the Nern delivering a package from the Watcher's Palace to Bestway's burrows. It's quite large and heavy, perhaps even too heavy for we poor little porrits, and we would be ever so grateful if you could lend us a hand. I suppose I should be going then. How about an extra pair of hands before I go and meet with Ishola? No, that won't get us there. Range's help should be more than suffice. I'm sure you don't want to risk getting on Ishola's bad side by keeping her waiting. She seems prickly. Now off with you. We're not Arrow. I shouldn't be long. Interesting. Complete this one. I think I'll call it a stream. Oh, back so soon? Everything is alright with around you then? That's a relief. Or we thought you would be away for far longer. Dire emergency? I said no such thing. But as you're here, I could use your assistance with one small matter. Running away, companion of growing ways, apparently has much to tell us of the final days. The problem, however, is that he is determined to live up to his name, refusing to stay still long enough for us to hold a conversation. Is there anywhere he's likely to stop and rest? Or perhaps there's a way to slow him down? What's the rush? I was thinking we should wait here, maybe enjoy a cold mug of carrot juice, and no? So, well, if it's really that important. Try using these balls of mouse flesh, not to be confused with the other thing. Running away's other notable features is incessant chatter, so you have no trouble finding him in a crowd, and when you do, try lobbing your balls at him. Crude, but if it proves effective, he is here in Greatest Endsvale when last I saw him. Let's split up and find him. Alright, I'm gonna stop here for now. So yeah, got caught up with things quite a bit. I'm getting tired. 12-hour stream. A lot of crazy stuff happened. Still gonna have to process it all, but yeah, I'm looking forward to more of it. This whole area kind of slowed things down a little bit, but I think they have a connection to the forum. That's what I'm guessing. Maybe the forum and Charlene was just planning on saving Ollie themselves. Because if they want to avoid war and they don't want everyone else killing each other, they would probably leave them all behind. Let them do that. But that's my theory anyways. Yeah, that's going to be it for now. Thanks for watching and have a good day or night. Oh, well, I'll try to be back later tonight. Maybe in a few hours. Play some more, but I'm not sure. But yeah, that's going to be it for now. Thanks for watching and have a good day or night. See you later.